Alright, now we're going to be looking at Chapter 7 review. Our test is going to be on Thursday of this week. If you can look at this review, hopefully you're watching this Tuesday night so you can have a fresh look at what's going to be on the quiz or on the test. And we're going to work on this then on Wednesday and discuss a little bit more of this and do some review to further our understanding, and we should be pretty well prepared for the test. Find each number, round to the nearest tenth if necessary. What you want to be doing for each of these is hitting pause and solve them, and then you can compare your answers. So go ahead and pause. Alright, 78% of 50. Again, first thing you must do is change the percent to a decimal. Of means times 50. So you're going to simply take 0.78 times 50 and you get 39. That's it. That's your answer. Nearest tenths if necessary, not necessary in this case. For letter B, again, 75 hundredths of a percent of 80 is what number? Same thing, it's just written a little differently. You got to change this to a percent, so move it 2 times to the left. So 0.0075 times 80. So 0.0075 times 80 is going to give me 0.6. Done. Okay? Again, if you're uncertain about something on here, please write down about a question, and we'll discuss it on Wednesday. Do that throughout this lesson. Next one, letter C, what percent of 120? Okay, 6 is what percent of 120? You can use the percent equation if you like. Using the proportion. Either one of those works. So if you do part over base equals x, or the percent, I should say, over 100, you can use that, or you can write this as an equation and then solve it algebraically. What they're wanting you to do in these is to use this. So 6 is what percent of 120? So my percent is my question mark, that's x over 100, and 6 is what percent of 120. So 6 is my part. You're wanting to know what it is of 120. So that is my base. Cross multiply. 600 equals 120. X. Divide both sides by 120. And 600 divided by 120 equals 5. Okay, for this particular problem, 65% over 100, and 65% of what number is 39? Okay, so we're trying to find out 65% of what number will equal 39. 39 is my part. Okay, base would be my variable x, because we're trying to find out what 65% of what number would be the 39. 39 is my part. Okay, the what number is going to be larger. It's going to be my base. So again, 3900 when we cross multiply equals 65x. Divide both sides by 65. So 3900 divided by 65 equals 60. Okay, later on in this lesson we will actually do the equation. Estimate, we like to round these to compatible numbers. 25%, usually that's a pretty good number to leave. You can round these to fractions, which is what is the easiest way of doing this probably. So 1/4 of, and we're going to make this 80, so 80 over 1. These now can be cross-reduced. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 80 divided by 4 is 20. So you get 20 over 1, which equals 20. Okay. For this one, again, compatible numbers, let's get rid of the decimal points. That's why it's estimation. So we're going to round this to 20%, which would equal 1/5 as a fraction, times, round this to 100, cross reduce, that's going to be a 1, this is going to be 20, and it's going to also equal 20. Okay? Questions on this, again, please ask. I know sometimes you can do these in increments of 10% and figure it out that way. Fractions are by far the easiest, and we have that list of fractions in our notes. If you're not sure about what fraction to use, make it a number that's a multiple of 5 and take 25 over 100, the percent, and reduce it, which in this case you're reducing by 25 to get the 1/4. So any of those ways, and you don't need the notes to try to find that fraction. Okay. Write an equation for each problem, then solve, round to the nearest tenths. Here's our equations I was discussing. So 32 is means equals what percent? That's the question mark. So that's x. Of means multiply, and 50. Now we have our equation. We are trying to get rid of the number with the variable, so divide it by 50. And 32 divided by 50 equals 0.64 equals x. Now the question is, what percent? So this is the one that you have to be very, very careful with, since we are trying to make this into a percent. This is not written as a percent. You must make it into a percent, which is going to give us the 64%. Okay, by just simply moving the decimal 2 places to the right or multiplying it by 100. This one, percent, so we're going to write that as a decimal. Of means multiply. What number? That is going to be our variable. I'll use an n. Equals for is 108. Divide both sides by the number with the variable. So we get 108 divided by 0.12, and we get n equaling 900. Done. And again, we don't have to worry about doing anything with the percent because that's not what the question's asking. It's just simply what number. We already converted it to the decimal point. Okay. Find each percent of change. Round to the nearest whole percent if necessary. Remember the equation that we are trying to use, which is new minus the old over the original. Okay, or old for that case as well. Use this formula. Okay, make sure you're doing that. So original, or new, excuse me, is the first, so 254 minus the old 172 over 172. Now you take 254, subtract 172, and you get 82 over 172. Now remember, you got to finish this. I had somebody the other day just leave it 82 over 172 and they thought they were done. No, you've got to complete this by dividing it now by 82 divided by 172, because again it is asking you for each percent of change, and it's going to give you a decimal point, which in this case, and you're rounding to the nearest whole, so 0.4767. Please make sure you make it into a percent first. 1, 2 places. Now you can round, since it's 47.67%, in rounding to the nearest whole. So now we can, since we're rounding this number, look at our 6, changes that to an 8. So 48% is your answer. Now the question is this a percent of increase or decrease? Well, again, look at the original and go to the new. It's getting bigger, so it is increase. Okay. Now another way of looking at that is if this number is a positive or a negative. Okay. If it's positive, it's going to be an increase. If it's a negative, then it would be our decrease. So 48% increase is our answer. Find the total cost or sale price to the nearest cent. Again, $25 times my percent, which is 0.07. So 25 times 0.07, which is $1.75. It is a tax, so $25 plus $1.75. So I get $26.75. Another way of doing that is simply taking 25 times 1.07, and that will give me the $26.75. That was method 1. This is method 2. Most of you are using method 2, but there are probably about a fifth of you that are using this, which is great. Discount 210 times my 15%. Okay, again, I'm trying to find what 15% of 210 is. So when I do that, 210 times 0.15, and I get 31.50. It is a discount, so 210 minus 31.50. Which equals $178.50. Method 2 would be by taking $210 times, since you're 15% discount, what percent of that are you actually going to be paying of that 210? Well, this is where you would take the 100 minus 15, okay, to get the 85%. So 0.85 times 210 will give you exactly 178.50. Okay. Questions, again, please make sure you're making highlights to ask tomorrow. And our last question, find the simple interest. Again, that is PRT, principal rate and time, and $475 times 0.05. You got to make sure that percent's written as a decimal, times 9 months, so it's 9 out of 12. Remember, the time has to be written in years, so it's 9 out of 12, 9 months out of 12 months, which does reduce to, if we're going to reduce that by 3, we get our 3/4, okay, so which would convert to 0.75. So lots of ways you can plug this into your calculator. Remember, using our associative property, you could simply take 3/4 and take 3 divided by 4 in your calculator, which is going to give you 0.75 times the 500ths times $475. Any of that works. So just be careful when you do that. So go ahead and plug it in. 475 times 0.05 times 0.75 equals $17.8125. Again, near a cent, which is the hundredths place value. So $17.81 is the interest earned on $475 at 5% for 9 months. Okay? Again, questions, please make certain that you are asking for any help that you need, and mark that down, and we'll look forward to answering those questions tomorrow. Have a great night.